What's up, people? Welcome back to another episode, or welcome for the first time of Sports and Superhero Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Sammy, and joining me is my other host, Marcus. Say what's up, Marcus. Say what's up to the people.
What's up, people? I was gonna say what's up to the people. What's up, people? I got your sports side of the podcast. Yeah.
And I am the superhero side of the podcast. This is where we talk about superhero sports entertainment news of the week, bring you all the good and the bad, and we talk about it, give our little opinions on it, and talk about the things we both love. Just two friends talking about shit, and you guys get to come join along for the ride. So we greatly appreciate you guys coming through. Since you're here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Also, hit that like button. Apparently, YouTube likes it when you guys hit the like button, so go ahead and hit that for us. We greatly appreciate that. You can also check out all our other social medias down below: Instagram, TikTok, X, if you want to call it that, our Twitter, even on Threads. We own all of it. If someone calls it X, we are all those things. We also have a link if you would like to leave us a voice message, ask us a question, whether it's about superhero or sports. You can kindly do that in down below, hit that link, and you give us like a minute, I think a minute and a half voice message, and we will definitely probably play it on the podcast as long as it's not weird. But you can do that if you would like to leave us a voice message. But with all that out the way, let's just jump into it because I know I got a lot of stuff to talk about. I don't know if Marcus got a lot of sports, but we're about to get into it right now. Marcus, go hit him with that first story.
My first topic is actually kind of long. I got a lot of information to throw at you, so
Okay.
I'll throw this out of information, and then you make your own opinion at the end of it. All right.
Okay.
Well, this is a topic that Sammy wanted to talk about. He was like, "You really should talk about this." I'm like, all right, if that's what you want to do, I will dive into it. So we're gonna talk about the WNBA. So during All-Star, the WNBA just had their All-Star game this past weekend. I didn't look at the score because I didn't. The WNBA players wore a "Pay Us What You Owe Us" T-shirt at the start of the All-Star game to protest the stalled collective bargain agreement negotiations because they had the CBA meetings over All-Star weekend. And for those of you who don't know, that's when they negotiate uh, player salaries and team salaries and the revenue and all the money talks happens during that time.
Mm-hmm.
So the players seek a better revenue sharing model, higher salaries, improved benefits, and more flexible salary cap. Filling their 9.3% share of league revenue is insignificant compared to the NBA's near 50-50 split. The WNBA, they argue their salaries should reflect the league's recent growth and increased revenue driven by factors like a new media deal and expansion teams. Uh, WNBA salary ranges from $66,079 to $249,244, significantly less than NBA salaries. The average NBA base salary is $102,249. The NBA average salary is more than $13 million.
Jesus.
Some argue the comparison is unfair due to the NBA's longer history and greater revenue. There's an agent named Jeff Schwartz. He's like he owns his own sports agency, and he's had several big name players. Let's see, I had it. He represents Caitlin Clark and Connor, who's both in the WNBA, and he also represents Tiger Woods and Peyton Manning, and has
Oh wow.
negotiated billions in athletes' contracts. So, just to give you a little backstory on him, but he said he considered the WNBA salary structure unfair, potentially leading players to seek income overseas or start their own leagues, which is kind of what has started. Because as you
Yeah.
remember, earlier this year, uh, Brittany Stewart, I can't remember her first name right now. So Colliner, they started the Unrivaled League, the 3-on-3 league.
Mm-hmm.
And the players in that league, some of them, I think they're WNBA players. Um, they offer players equity and a reported $220,000 paycheck, the highest the highest average player salary of any professional women's sports. And this is just a 3-on-3 league that just started this year. I think
Mm-hmm.
it was in March it started, or was it at the end of March or the beginning of April when that started. Uh, WNBA commissioner is optimistic about the future CBA negotiations, while players view the recent talks as missed opportunities. Uh, WNBA players, including all stars, are threatening to walk out if a new CBA isn't reached by October. The league has not commented. And just to give you some backstory on the WNBA, the last few years, the WNBA has grown rapidly in recent years, including a new 2.2 billion media deal and an expansion fees of 250 million. Also, the WNBA was also awarded 3 new expansion teams that will be in Cleveland. They'll have a team back in Detroit because they used to have a team in Detroit back in the day. They were the Detroit Shock, and then they moved to Dallas, and now I believe they are the Tulsa Shock. And always I remember that because I was talking to our friend Mike about that a few weeks ago. And they're getting another team in Philadelphia, which will grow the league to 18 teams over the next 5 years. And then uh, just going to go into the revenue of the WNBA because some would say, well, the WNBA isn't making money, so how are you going to ask for more, a higher salary if the league isn't making
Yeah.
money?
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Hold on, I lost my spot. So I think I jumped ahead. Okay. So in 2023, because I did want to do 2024 because we know the 20 last year had the Caitlin Clark effect. So
Yeah.
the numbers definitely went up in 2024.
Yeah.
But I want to at the end of this, I want to come back to 2024. So I looked at 2023 and saw what the WNBA did then. So in 2023, the WNBA generated an estimated of $200 million in revenue. Uh, that figure represents a significant increase in revenue for the league. Some reports indicate WNBA's revenue in 2023 was projected to be 180 million to 200 million range. The revenue growth has been substantial, with the league's revenue increasing from 102 million in 2019 to roughly 190 million in 2023, representing an average annual growth rate of 17%. But despite the increased revenue, the league has historically reported losses. In 2024, which was last season, the WNBA reported to be on track to lose around 50 million, even though revenues grew for the league.
Mm. Mm.
Um, and then just one more thing about the salaries comparing it to the NBA. So again, like I said earlier, WNBA salaries currently range from the league minimum of 66,079 bucks to a maximum of 249,244. And the league minimum in the NBA is now 1.27 million. Some say comparing the structure between men's and women's league isn't exactly fair. The NBA has been around for more than 75 years and has a 6-month regular season and brings in billions of dollars in corporate sponsorships, while the WNBA is in its 29th season and plays 4 months out of the year. The NBA has around 13 billion in revenue, while the WNBA is roughly around 200 million. So
200 million.
yes.
How
Well,
much did you say the NBA is? You said 10?
No, the NBA has around 13 billion in revenue.
13. Okay, 13. Okay.
While the WNBA is 200 million.
So yeah, I understand what they're trying to do. But the math is just not mathing. Like looking at the numbers, if I pay you what I owe, or what you say you worth, you actually gonna pay me money because we losing money. I believe the WNBA hasn't made a profit since it began. I could be wrong, but I don't think it's made a profit ever. Actually, the NBA subsidizes the WNBA. So let's first get off of being subsidized till we start making money. And to speak on the Unrivaled league, they say they were going to pay people this much. I want to know if they actually did pay those people that much. Like you can offer a whole bunch, but did you actually give them that offer? That's the bigger question. And if that's the case, if you did do what you say you did, then don't worry about the WNBA. Make your own league. 100% do that. Because if you did what you say you did do, that means you can do it better than the WNBA. Go ahead and do that. I'm 100% okay with that. But don't sit here and be like, I need you to pay me what I'm worth, and I find out you're worth debt. That's an issue there. And your numbers are increasing. They are. But if we take it to where the NBA was at this point in time, the first, I think, 6 years they didn't make a profit, but I don't think they lost money like you guys are. You're losing $50 to $40 million a year. That's crazy. That's a crazy amount of money to be losing and not making a profit. I get the you feeling like you're not getting paid, but are you guys looking at the numbers? Unless they lying to us about the numbers, which these numbers are pretty public, so you can find out by yourself. Your league doesn't make money, so I can't share money with you that I don't have. That's just a fact. I would say instead of yelling at the rafters saying, hey, you need to pay us, I think y'all need to get inside those books and figure out what y'all need to do to make your league profitable for a couple of years, and then you can ask for some money. That's like asking for a raise at work knowing you ain't doing no work. I'm sorry. That just seems counterintuitive. I'm not saying you ladies aren't doing your thing. You're doing your things. And I don't mean ladies in a derogatory way. I'm just saying you guys are doing your thing. You're bringing visibility to your game. You're bringing more sponsors in. You're bringing younger audience. You're having people wear jerseys. All these things are happening. It's going to be a snowball effect as you keep growing. But don't stop your momentum by making people pay attention to you're not making money. Like your league is not making money. You supposed to hide that in the background. You trying to put that full frontal so people can see it. It's not a great idea, especially when you have this momentum on your side as your sport is growing. Let it keep growing. Let it get to a point where you can see there's money there that's not coming back to you guys. Right now, you can't see that there's money there. You have clear examples and receipts that there's no money there. So that seems counterintuitive to what you guys are trying to do. Keep doing the unrivaled thing. Eventually, They only play what, 3 months?
But
Is that what?
WNBA 4.
Yeah, 4 months. As you guys keep expanding teams, you're getting new teams in new markets. You'll start to grow, and you guys will go from 4 to 5 months and grow that length of that league, which will open up more deals and stuff like that. Let that stuff happen. Let that be a progression that happens, but don't kill your own momentum. That's the thing. You don't kill your momentum that you have going, because all you're doing right now is making people look into the numbers, and when they find out that you're working at a loss, that you're getting subsidized by the NBA to continue doing what you're doing and working at a loss, all these requests and these demands are going to fall on deaf ears, because it's like, and then you could go on strike, but this is gonna sound terrible. You could go on strike, but if you stop playing, they're actually going to make money. Just realistically, they're going to make money, because now you're not going to lose that 40 to 50 million. So it's
So
y'all just need to keep growing.
So for them, like for the players, okay, so the NBA is almost about a 50-50 split as far as what the NBA makes off of the media deals and jersey sales and all that, like 50% of that goes back into the players, which also helps with their salaries. The WNBA, these women, they're only getting 9.3% of what from the media deal and the jersey sales and all that. And then the WNBA has signed a 11-year media right package with Disney, NBC, and Amazon that will take effect next season, and that's worth $200 million a year. So I see, because it says they want like more of the revenue and improved benefits and more salary cap, more flexibility salary cap. So they're just saying what any working American want. They want better benefits, because you need benefits, you need health insurance, you need that, right? They're asking for more flexible salary cap. That means they're asking more flexible so you can put a team together with players. Like you can also, that in turn will help for them to get paid more, but also, let us build teams. Because the NBA, they have, granted, like we've already said, they make a way more money, but they have more flexibility in their salary cap when they have all these special rules where you can sign this player under this rule and this, that, and the other. I'm not going to go all deep into all the different rules for signing players. And then they're like, okay, 9.3. That's all we're getting for the money that is made it off the media rights, and like give us more of the money and the revenue. Like I said, I don't think it should be 50-50 like the NBA, because again, they're not making the kind of money the NBA is making. But I think it should be higher than 9.3. I'm just throwing around like maybe 15, maybe 20. I mean, the WNBA still is taking home more money, but again, in order to get it up higher than that, you got to turn a profit. Because if you operate a loss, you can't get a whole lot of money. But any work in America, like everybody wants a raise. So I don't think that's outrageous at all that they want to be paid more. And also,
that's not outrageous.
And granted, they work 4 months out of the year, and the NBA is
that's
9.
outrageous.
So the NBA has more. They have a longer time to make more money. So to put it like this, the WNBA will never, ever see the money that the NBA is making, because the NBA is a lot longer than the WNBA season. So, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I
but other than
mean,
that,
it's I mean, all the things you want all depends on the profitability of your league. And if your league is not profitable, how can I give you these things? Like I'm not even making money. You want me to lose even more money by giving you the sliver of the money that is coming in? That's not paying our bills. that's just that's like asking a business that's going out of business that you work for, like, hey, can I get a raise? I know we're gonna close shop in 2 months, but can I get a raise before that happens? That makes no sense. That's how that is. Like, it just doesn't make sense. But then they still have the ability to go get uh sponsorships for themselves. Like Caitlin
that's
Clark has sponsorships.
what see
Andrew
that's
Reese
the thing.
has sponsorships.
But those are anomalies. Like all of them does not have the marketability to do that. Like the two players you named, the Caitlin Clarks, the Angel Reese, the Asia Wilsons, Sabrina Nescu, the Paige Beckers, they can make money as sponsorships outside of basketball. Those players will be okay, right? Asia got her own shoe.
Mm-hmm.
Angel Reese has a shoe coming out. Caitlin Clark will eventually get a shoe. I won't be surprised if Paige Beckers gets her own shoe. Like we see Caitlin Clark in commercials on TV. We've seen Angel Reese had her own meal at McDonald's. Like those players are marketable outside of the sport of WNBA. But the rest of them, they don't necessarily have that cachet to make money like that. Like they have to go overseas to make money. Where those five players that you just mentioned can stay home because they make money off of endorsements. They don't necessarily have to go overseas to make money to play ball. Like Brittany Grinder, she's a very famous face, right? Why why was she in Russia? To
Yeah,
play
true,
basketball to make money.
true.
Diana
I mean,
Taurasi, one of the best WNBA players ever, right? Has a game is good. People know her name, know her face. She had to go overseas as well to make more money to play basketball. So like everybody don't have the marketing ability to make money off the court.
you better get some local deals. I mean, I get it. I get it, but these are the growing pains you got to go through. Unfortunately, there's NBA players that was working other jobs when the NBA was at its lowest, or
Yeah,
wasn't
but
making money.
well, when I tell you the base salary for the NBA is what I say
Yes,
1.2
but
million.
that took time to get there,
But yeah, no, I understand. The NBA has been around for a long time. But
and they made money.
right, but what I'm saying is, like I said, they're not going to make that kind of money unless they play their season as long as the NBA. Until then, they're not going to see that NBA money. It's just not going to happen because the season is too short. But what I'm saying, like, this is, I feel like what the players are doing now is for them, but it's also setting up the future. Because the thing about, like, I put in perspective like this: Paige Beckers, and if Juju Watkins didn't get hurt, they probably making more money now, made more money in college. They'll be taking a pay cut by
Yeah,
going to Kevin Clark.
they that
They're
didn't
taking
the
a pay.
girl do
Angel
that?
Reese, they're taking a
There was
pay
a
cut by
girl.
going to the W.
There was a girl that did that. She didn't get
Yeah,
drafted
right. We talked
and
about
went to a
this.
different college and made.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean,
They're taking pay cuts. You can make these days. You can make more money in college than a WNBA. And I mean, and some college teams are probably more. Some women's college basketball teams are probably more popular than WNBA teams because college fans, that's a different level of fandom.
hmm
So college, they make more money, but I guarantee, like let's say Connecticut, for instance, Oh, actually, nope, that's a bad example because they team probably make a lot of money. Let's say Iowa women's basketball. They're not making money that the Iowa football team is making,
True.
but because the fans of college, they're making money off that sport, off the women's game. So I don't think it's outrageous. Like if they were throwing out numbers like, oh, we want 60% or we want 50% of the share revenue, then I'll be like, hold on, wait. Y'all tripping now. That's way
So
too
what
high.
percent are they asking? Did they give out a number?
They didn't get our number. They just said we want more than 9.3%. Because if you think about it, if you buy something and they're like, oh, you got a 10% discount, you got a 10% coupon, right? They take 10% off. It's not that much.
No.
It's not that much.
No.
You might that coupon, okay, I'll probably save you the taxes on the product you bought. When you put in perspective, 9.3, that's not much money at all of what they get on
Not
the
at
revenue
all.
share right now. So I
Not at all.
I can see it from the players. I also see the other part of the money that they're operating at a loss. But at the same time, the NBA has been doing what they're doing for the last 29 years. So
Yeah.
and they have the WNBA players has the support of NBA players as well. So
Yeah. I'm just trying to keep y'all league around. If y'all start pulling out the little bit of money y'all are getting, I don't want it. Cause like y'all expanding, and I don't want you to. Cause when they first came out, they had a certain number of teams, and then that dropped down. And for what? Well, let's say 6 years, that stayed that way. That they had already dropped down how many teams that they were having, and they're just now being able to expand teams again. Um, you don't want to go backwards again. You want to stay the course, keep building. Um, I think you honestly keep doing the unrivaled and make it a focus of this is what you'll get in the WNBA, but we'll give you this like this is a pre-show to the WNBA. I think they should market it that way or something because your main focus is the WNBA. You have to keep main focus on that, but you still have to draw attention to it.
I think I hear you, but I disagree. I think the more the college game, the women in college playing sports, because that's when you heard about that's where you hear about these star players. That's when you heard about the Candace Parkers when she played at Tennessee, Lisa Leslie at USC. Trying to think some Maya Moore at Connecticut. Like these are like dope women that can hoop, like can hoop. And this is when you heard about it. So I think there's more spotlight on women's sports in college, because you got the NIL deals and then you got the tournaments. Because honestly, no one knew about paid attention to Iowa basketball, or for that matter, Caitlin Clark until and even Angel Reese until they played each other in the tournament.
Yeah.
And the team and those two teams was going back and forth a little bit, and they started drawing with each other. No one I keep 100 like American for the most part didn't care. Like you heard, oh, this Caitlin Clark woman, she can she shoots the ball really far and deep, but the popularity didn't really go until they hit the tournament, and then you got the drawing back. USC with Juju Watkins. It's like she's balling because there's more of a spotlight on the women's college basketball now. So we hear about these players earlier than later. So I think that's where the real spotlights will come. Also, like the WNBA is different. Like for NBA, you have to be out of high school 1 year and then you can go into the league. WNBA, I believe you have to be out 2 years before you go, which I think is hurting them as well.
Yeah.
Because now you got these stars in college, and you kind of holding them back. Well, you need them in the league so you can make more money in the league. And now you got the NIL deal. So now it's like, why would I
might as
go
well
to
stay in college.
I might as well stay. I make more money here in college.
That's the only reason I would say not to focus on college, because the WNBA can't control that. They can't profit off of that, really. You want something that you can profit off. Like college basketball, the colleges are profited off of that. ESPN is profit off of that. You need something that the WNBA can profit off of. So they need they need something on those off season months to do something there to elevate their brand more, to get more awareness, to pull more people in. I think that the players should get connected with the WNBA and figure out a strategy to build up that brand. That would have been more of a step forward, is the players coming together with the WNBA to figure out how to build that brand up more, how to get more eyes. Just like during the All-Star Game, there was the stud thing that they were doing, and that brought a lot of eyes to
stud thing.
I forget what it was called. It was called Stud Watch or something like that. It was something like that. Yeah, I know it sounds crazy, but it brought attention to the WNBA All-Star Weekend. I forget what it's called. WNBA.
But side note to, or are you looking that up? Side note to something I said earlier. So, like I said, they got the 11-year, $200 million a year deal for 11 years. That's going to bring in $2.2 billion.
Okay.
You can give these women more in the share revenue than 9.3%.
Okay. Would that put you guys in the green though? That's the question. Would that put them in the green? Are we still going to be working at a loss? Are we going to be making a profit? Because at that point, I can share the profit with you. Yes, that's a profit. I can share that with you. But if I'm still working at a deficit, I'm going to take money out to be able to give you this more percentage. How is that going to help this brand? That's just going to help you as a player at that moment. How is it going to help the brand? Like, you have to think of the bigger picture. You want this to go for another 10 years, or you want this to go for another 60 years? Like, realistically.
I think they're in a unique situation because any other company that operated at a loss for this long would have folded. But they have, quote unquote, so to speak, the big brother of the NBA that can absorb, what it is they're doing and still be profitable. So I say at this point,
that's a heck of an absorption.
I said at this point, we agree to disagree because we've already spent 30 minutes on this topic. And you said you got a lot to talk about. So you okay? Like if you got one other point to make, go ahead, and then I think we should just move on.
Definitely. Okay. So it was called Stud Buds. It was who's this player? Yeah. It kind of was focused on two players, and they were doing a lot of candid interviews, kind of Twitch kind of stuff, live streaming stuff during the whole weekend and stuff. And they was talking to other women about partying, hanging out, all this stuff, getting more personal, showing more personalities and stuff like that, which was really good. And it really made that weekend pop more for a lot of different people. So that was a good way to start to bring attention to your league in a positive way. So that's what that was. If you guys know about it, check it out.
That was Courtney Williams.
Okay.
I think I saw something like a small clip where they was trying to get in the club and then they was going to make them wait in line. I'm like, we just playing the WNBA All-Star Game. We're not standing in line. Like, what are we doing?
Understandable. All right, so let's go ahead and hit the first superhero topic. So we got Fantastic Four coming out this weekend. Yes, coming out this weekend. We will review it next week. I'm gonna see it over the weekend and then give you our reviews of it. But we had some information about Kevin Feige did this giant dump of information. He dumped a lot of information. I'm trying to go through as much of it as we can throughout this podcast. But he talked about Fantastic Four and that um, it was an entry to where you didn't have to know a lot about MCU itself. So it was basically a starter entry for people where you would just be learning about the Fantastic Four. You wouldn't have to know all the 10 to 12 years of MCU knowledge as of right now. We're going in to see this movie, which is kind of good for some people who have just got off and then want to get back on. They could get on this and watch this movie and not be worried about, well, I didn't know what happened 2 years ago with this character or that character. This is a isolated movie, the Fantastic Four origin story. So you're just gonna learn about them in this. Um, I I do like that concept because a lot of the MCU has become homework. You have to watch this show. You have to watch this show to find out why this movie is made and who are these characters in this movie, which is very comic book accurate because that's comic books. You had to read these 3 comic books to figure out why we're doing this in this comic book. That's kind of how that works. But I think it got too overwhelming and too much content for a lot of people to try to digest, which makes perfect sense. Trust me, I missed a couple things. I didn't watch Secret Invasion. I didn't watch Orchid. I didn't finish Agatha all the way. And I recently watched Deadpool Wolverine at home, not in the theaters. I didn't even go see that in theaters. I saw it at home on my couch. So yes, I totally understand people not wanting to have to watch multiple stuff to watch the next movie to know what's going on. And with this Fantastic Four movie, First Steps, you don't have to. You can just go watch this movie and just learn what's going on in this movie without needing to know other stuff. And he said you won't be confused. So that was a positive thing. But Kevin Feige also said that he hasn't really been happy with any script throughout the Marvel history of all the movies, which was really weird to hear him say that he wasn't happy with any of the scripts. He also said he wasn't happy with any of the movies. He always had a different idea he wanted to throw in or add more to it, which is I can get to an extent, but you have to be happy with one of these movies. Like you made Black Panther, you made Civil War, Endgame. These are phenomenal movies. Winter Soldier. Hint at somebody I talked to on Twitter, TikTok about this. These are phenomenal movies. How could you not be happy with any of them? Which is weird for him to say. He also goes to say that they knew Kang wouldn't work in the MCU. Everybody know that's a lie. Kang was amazing. Kang would 100% work. It's just that Jonathan Majors got in trouble and you guys had to pivot. Like Kang would have worked in the MCU 100%. That's the only reason I watched Loki was for Kang. So don't tell me Kang wouldn't have worked. So we knew he was kind of just fudging things there, trying to clear up stuff and move through stuff and get over some of the humps the MCU has had. But the last bit on just this topic, he also announced that Fantastic Four is Phase 6, is the start of Phase 6. So the ending of Phase 5 is Thunderbolts, which is kind of an ending or spoilers for Thunderbolts if you haven't seen it. Um, um, the Thunderbolts become the new Avengers, but Captain America is fighting for the name the Avengers because at the end of that they had a end credit scene where he's suing them for the name of the Avengers. So I guess going into Phase 6, it's gonna be like, who are the new Avengers? Who are really the new Avengers? But Fantastic Four is supposed to be the start of Phase 6, so that was news to me. I didn't think that's how that was gonna go. I do remember them saying something vaguely that Ironheart was the possibly the last thing for Phase 5, but I thought Fantastic Four was going to be that. But apparently, we're in Phase 6 now, baby. So let's go. We're going to see what we have in this. I haven't looked at ticket sales for Fantastic Four so far, but they say they're projecting the opening weekend of, I think it said 110 million to 125 million for opening weekend, which I think Superman hit. I think Superman made 135 million its opening weekend in domestic haul. So we'll have to see if Fantastic Four can hurt Superman box office right now. Which Superman is past, I think, 400 million in the box office. So it's getting up there. Still a long way to go to tap Batman, which made 700 million, and really decide if this reboot of the DC is good or bad. Because if Superman doesn't make more than 600 million, I think I might consider it a flop. Even though it's a great movie, they might consider it a flop financially. It's just the way Hollywood is. They want to make a certain amount, and it might not make it to that. So I like the way James Gunn started it, but we'll have to see. But we were talking about Marvel. So like I said, into Phase 6 with this new movie, Fantastic Four, and we'll see where that goes. But we still have a lot of other stuff Kevin Feige talked about, and we'll get into that in the next part. But Marcus, go ahead and hit him with your
Oh
second.
wait, I got how many phases?
Oh,
is
my
it?
bad.
No, just quick question. How many phases is it? You said this is Phase 6.
This is Phase 6, so this is the newest phase. They don't have a end total of what the end phase would be. So, so if there's a breakdown of all the phases, what movies are in what phase, and like the first 5 MCU movies are Phase 1, and that would be Iron Man, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, First Avenger, and Avengers. And the Avengers is the first phase. Side note, I had to argue with somebody on TikTok about when Disney took over Marvel, because the first 4 movies Marvel made, they were under Marvel Entertainment and were produced by what is that studio called? Paramount Pictures. So Iron Man, Iron Man 2, Thor, and Captain America were produced under Paramount Pictures. Disney bought them in 2008, and the next film they released was The Avengers, which was under Disney, and that was the first movie they made $1 billion with. So, not saying Disney was the magic, but Disney got them to that B, because Disney don't play around. But yeah, that's just for those people on TikTok I had to discuss that with.
All right, so got a Lakers story that happened in early June. So the Bus family has agreed to sell the majority stake of the Los Angeles Lakers to businessman Mark Walter. The deal values the team at $10 billion. The $10 billion. As part of the deal, Jenny Buss will retain a minority stake in the team she has owned since her family purchased the franchise, including the Forum and the Los Angeles Kings in 1979 for $67.5 million. She will also retain her governor's seat. That's a pretty nice. He bought the team in '79 for $67.5 million. and sold it for $10 billion.
Mm.
The sale would mark a new record for NBA valuations. The Crypto.com arena where the Lakers play is owned by AEG and it's not included in the deal. Let's see. Walter is a CEO and co-founder of Cunningham Partners and is now new to the sports ownership. He is also the majority owner of the Los Angeles Dodgers, the LA Sparks, and Cadillac's forthcoming Formula One team. He also owns a professional women's hockey league. And then also, just to add in the little rivalry between the Lakers and the Boston Celtics, the Boston Celtics were sold. I can't remember if it was it in May? May, yes. The Boston Celtics were sold in May of this year for $6.1 billion, and then the Lakers sold for $10 billion. So another little wrinkle in the LA Boston rivalry for those fans.
You said Boston was sold for $6.1 billion?
Yep.
Okay.
And the Lakers were sold for 10.
So we in double digits, bitch.
Yeah. So just another little wrinkle in the rivalry between those two teams. Because they've been rivalries for a long time. So yes, that was my quick sports story that I've had in the archives for a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So how much she still retains? How much?
She still retains her governor's seat, so she can still, with the team makes moves and whatnot. She still has some say so. And she is, she still retains something else. She still retain a minority stake in the team, so she would still have ownership in the team. Just not.
Jesus, she sold the team how much the NBA had made in that almost exactly how much the NBA has made. That's just so much money. Not to try to get back to this other story, that old story, but damn, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
the Lakers is like there's one of those historic franchises that no matter what, no matter how good or how bad the team is, the fans are still going to show up because it's the Lakers.
Yep.
So
and they in one of the biggest markets.
Right.
So, yeah.
So, there you go.
Yeah, I'm watching a show called what's the show? It's on Netflix. It's called Running Point. So it's basically a show kind of like the Bus family running the Lakers. This is their fictional show where they're running this fictional basketball team that's the biggest basketball team in basketball, and the ups and downs of how they deal with stuff. It's a pretty funny show. I'm watching it with my wife, so I should have been finished by now, but she falls asleep, so we gotta watch episodes multiple times.
I'm upset because there was a show on HBO Max, Winter Time. I'm mad they canceled that. That was a good show. That was a
really good show. It was a really good show.
I enjoy watching that show. Like, I learned some things. I hope they were true. I learned something. I'm like, this is a really good show. I was really sad when they canceled it. And then not too long after, I did also cancel my subscription to HBO Max because I was upset that they canceled the show, and I wasn't using that much anyways. I was just paying money for something I wasn't using. So
yeah, that was
it's a good show, man.
It's a good show. I guess it just wasn't doing good in the ratings, so they couldn't
Yeah, and
spend the money.
some of the players like Jerry West did not like how he was being portrayed in
Yeah,
the
I heard
show,
that. Yeah,
and some other players as well. But yeah, it was
that's
entertaining.
crazy.
So,
True, very true. All right, speaking of uh shows and new upcoming things, Kevin Feige also talked about the X-Men are coming. Yes, the X-Men are coming, and a lot of people are wondering where we're gonna start with these X-Men. Um, it's he said he's gonna do young X-Men. He's gonna have them set in school X-Men, so school staging X-Men. Uh, he hasn't said what the lineup will be of the X-Men. I think he's still holding that chest, but they're gonna go for younger actors so they can have the X-Men for quite a bit of time, so they can make multiple movies with them. Um, that makes I know a lot of people who read X-Men comics have been reading about the X-Men and know these adult X-Men and really want to see more stories with them, but from a business perspective, yes, this makes sense. Get younger people to play younger X-Men so you can have them do that for a longer period of time. Hugh Jackman has been playing Wolverine for almost, I want to say 20 years. Uh, and he started young. So that was one of the ways you got that man for that long of a period of time. Can't be having 35, 40-year-old X-Men starting their first movie and expect to do almost 7 to 10 years of them. That's just not reasonable for the business and the storytelling you want to do. Um, so I know some people are upset with that. Some people are okay with that. Um, I don't know if they are going to um, how they're going to deal with the X-Men socially, because we've seen X-Men 97, how they had older X-Men and they dealt with very adult things, and people still was in love with it and followed it. A lot of people are worried if they have younger X-Men, they're not going to be able to deal with such adult themes, and we want to see our X-Men being adults and dealing with those kind of things, but they still have to deal with the major thing of being mutants and humans not liking them. That's always going to be there. That is the number one issue X-Men deal with, periodly. Yes, you have love triangles and characters who fall in love with other characters and don't realize it and stuff like that. Babies, all that stuff. Yes, you can do that. It's just to take a little longer to get to that stuff. That's all. But you'll build character development with those characters and get to know those characters. So when that does happen, it should hit more. So I don't see this as a bad thing. I totally understand it. I just want you to get the X-Men correct. Which this is still weird because we know in Doomsday the X-Men are supposed to be in there as well. The older X-Men that we've already had before. So him saying this makes us wonder how are these younger X-Men going to come in and when are they going to come in? So that's something we'll have to look forward to and finding out down the road. When I say down the road, later in this podcast, when I talk about that story, that it will let you know about that. Also, Jack Schreiber, who directed Thunderbolts, will be directing this Young X-Men movie. It has been confirmed that he will be the director for the Young X-Men. Um, but it also questions what happens to the Young Avengers. We've been kind of putting out characters for the Young Avengers. Kate Bishop, Ironheart, who else? I'm blanking on people. There was somebody. Oh, I guess her Florence Pugh. I forget her character name. Who's new? The new Black Widow. She kind of was supposed to be on Young Avengers too, but yeah. But I don't know what's gonna happen. Isaiah Bradley's nephew. I forget his name, but he's in there too. But I don't know what's gonna happen to the Young Avengers. Oh, I don't know how to pronounce her name, and I don't want to mess it up. Miss Marvel, she was part of Be About the Young Avengers too. So I don't know what's gonna happen to those characters. I think they're just gonna be folded into the Avengers and not the Young Avengers. So I think they're just gonna skip the Young Avengers altogether, which might be a good thing, might be a bad thing. Not 100% sure. I don't know how people feel. Oh, but then that means Wiccan. I don't know what they're gonna do with Wiccan because he's a fan favorite. Everybody likes Wiccan. They liked his portrayal in Agatha All Together, Agatha All Alone. So I don't know what's gonna happen with that. So that's gonna be an issue. Well, he could just be folded into the Avengers instead of the Young Avengers too. So that could happen. But yeah, that's gonna. We're gonna get Young X-Men. I'm assuming in like 2028, 2029, because we still have Doomsday next year, and then we have Secret Wars the year after that. And I think then we'll start getting into Young X-Men and whatnot. So let us know in the comments if they do Young X-Men, what is your lineup being? Do you want the classic comic book X-Men where you have Iceman, Cyclops, Beast, Jean Grey, or do you want the, let's say, the 90s X-Men where you have Gambit, Wolverine, Cyclops, Storm, Jubilee, Morph. You have Beast there too, and Rogue. Do you want that lineup? Let us know in the comments down below. Let us know which lineup you would like to go with the Young X-Men. And that's that story. Marcus, go ahead and get your last story in.
Okay, I just got a quick update of something that happened earlier this year. So I don't know if you remember, but earlier this year, Shannon Sharpe was being sued for $50 million
Oh
by
yeah, I remember that.
by Jane Doe. There eventually came out that the Jane Doe was Gabriella. Lord, I cannot pronounce the last name. Zuniga. So I know how I would say it, but I know it's.
Zunigly?
I'm gonna say
I probably just butchered it even worse than you did.
But anyway, Gabriella settled a $50 million lawsuit against Shannon Sharpe for sexual assault. The lawsuit was filed in 2025, so Shannon settled out of court. So it doesn't say how much he settled for. It just says he settled the $50 million lawsuit. So, okay, get this. So after it was announced that Shannon settled on the lawsuit, then she goes online, and this is what she wrote. She wrote, "Today, I have decided to retire from OnlyFans. Thank you for my incredible support. Thank you for the incredible support you've shown me over the past few years. This community has given me a life I could have never imagined. I'll still be active on social media and have several new projects in the works that I can't wait to share. I'm truly excited for this next chapter. I love you all forever and ever." Yep.
This next chapter.
So let's say it doesn't say how much it was settled for, but I guess it was enough for her to retire. And she's like, I ain't got to get this OnlyFans money no more. So
yeah. Unless she burns through that money too fast. She still got that OnlyFans as a backup, but yeah, she said she moving on up.
well, she's only 20, so she's still young. So there's a
it's a lot
good
of time.
possibility she can burn through whatever money she got. But that's crazy. And I mean, it had to be enough where she can say, I'm retiring from OnlyFans. That's crazy, man. That is insane.
Like,
I hope
I don't know how much she was making on OnlyFans. I would assume she was making 5 figures on OnlyFans, if not a little more. So I'm assuming this settlement is clearly in the six-figure range. Um,
Oh, that's crazy. You settle it there. This person retired. They're from OnlyFans at 20. That's crazy. But
the fact
for
that
her
she
sake,
made a post about it is wild.
yeah,
That's the
for her
wildest
sake,
part.
whatever money she got, I hope she doesn't go through it because if she has to go back to OnlyFans, the jokes just write themselves. Like she's
They
never,
will.
and
They
people still gonna
100% will.
people still gonna go
Oh
watch
yeah, they still
buy.
gonna go in
Like
on her.
they'll still buy our OnlyFans, but I can imagine what that comment section gonna look like.
Mm.
So yeah, so yeah, that's
Oh
my
wow.
update. And it. Hope you learned your lesson,
Okay.
Shannon. Hope you learned your lesson,
Hope
my guy.
so. I hope so. Okay, I'm gonna try to blaze through the rest of Kevin Feige stuff. Hit you with the important details. Um, I might not get to everything, but I'm gonna try to get to what I know. So he talked about Blade. They gave a Blade update. They've set a time for Blade. They're gonna do modern day Blade. They were trying to play around when they were gonna do it, what um, time frame they were gonna do it. As we talked about before, they had sold their costumes to the Sinners movie because they were gonna set the Blade in 1920s. Wait, is that 1920s? Yeah, yeah, in the 1920s. They sold their costumes, and Kevin Feige had a little joke saying, "Well, we can't do that now because we sold our costumes to what's his name? I'm blanking on his name.
Ryan Coogler.
Ryan Coogler." So he just have a little joke, a little joke. But they said they're going to do a modern Blade, and Eric Pinson or Pearson is scripting Blade. So now they have somebody scripting Blade once again. As you guys know, Blade's been scripted, I think, two times, and it kind of fell through creatively. Either Mahershala Ali didn't like it or Marvel didn't like it both times, and director didn't like it, and they lost the director. So that's crazy. I don't know if Mahershala Ali is still on going to be playing Blade, but I know he's doing other stuff. He's in the Jurassic Rebirth movie, so he's doing other stuff. He's got to still act. He got to do his thing. But that's the update on Blade. Uh, Kevin Feige talked about Spider-Man, that his new Spider-Man movie is a proper Spider-Man movie where it's more street level, ground level Spider-Man, where he's going to be by himself. So I know there was rumors that the Hulk was supposed to be in the movie. I'm not sure if that's going to happen now because the way they're talking about it, they're trying to make him a street level. And this Spider-Man movie was supposed to come out in between Doomsday and Secret Wars, and now it's going to be before both of those movies because Doomsday and Secret Wars got pushed back. So that could be them restructuring the script to make it more of a street level and not need any of other Marvel superheroes. For those who might not know, Spider-Man is a Marvel character, but he's owned by Sony. They share him in the MCU. Sony allows Marvel to put him in the MCU, and Marvel allows some of their heroes to go into the Spider-Man movie. So it gives them both a boost. It's helped Spider-Man his last three movies. Well, two of them made 1 billion, one of them made 800. So he's almost hit 1 billion with all three of his movies. This being his fourth movie, we're expecting another $1 billion movie, depending on what's going on in the movie. But it said it's returning Spider-Man to his original like thing where he's a street level hero, where he's beating up street level villains. We know there's supposed to be multiple villains in this movie, and there are multiple Spider-Man villains, and they're all pretty street level villains, so that makes a lot more sense. But the Punisher will be in this movie too. He's been confirmed to be in this movie, not like the rumor of the Hulk being in it. Punisher was confirmed, which Punisher is a street level villain as well, street level hero as well, but he is a MCU Marvel character. So Sony doesn't own Punisher. So you guys are lending out one of your characters for Spider-Man. So that's kind of a lie in that whole he's being by himself because you are lending him. But we're gonna get a street level Spider-Man, which I'm okay with. Return Spider-Man to that. That's fine. I like that Spider-Man as well. I like the Spider-Man we already have in the MCU with the tech and all that. But I get it. They Spider-Man 3 changed his projective to where no one knows who Peter Parker is. So he had to start all over, lose the tech and everything. But they know Spider-Man is. So it's a way to keep his secret identity. So touche to that because I hated that thing that everybody knew who he was. Um, the other news, Kevin Feige talked about Miles Morales. Like he does want to get Miles Morales, but he wants to wait till the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movies finish out before he brings on a live Miles Morales, so people don't get confused. Which I understand that. Side note: information on Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse has got pushed back again. Yes, it hurts. It sucks. I'm very upset because I want to see this trilogy, but it got pushed back again, unfortunately. Um, I'm in the camp of, hey, take your time, bring me gold. I'll wait 5 years if I have to. I'll just rewatch the other two movies and wait until you guys get it to where you guys feel is need to be seen by us and ready to be seen by us. I'm fine with it. That doesn't mean I'm not disappointed. But yes, that got pushed back. It sucks, but we gotta wait for greatness sometimes. Um, but like I said, Kevin Feige wants to do Miles Morales. I don't know if Sony's gonna let him do live action Miles Morales before they do, because he's technically a Sony character under Sony Marvel, not under Disney Marvel. So they own the rights to him. Disney Marvel does not. I assume Disney will do that, but it would probably be in the MCU movie, so they both get to play with him at the same time. That sounded dirty. That wants you. Don't make it weird. Don't be one of those weird people. But also, Kevin Feige is in the midst of talking to Ryan Reynolds because he wants him to come back as Deadpool. Also, he wants Wolverine to come back and play Wolverine one more time. I think one or two more times because that combination made them $1 billion. But if you don't know, Ryan Reynolds is going through his own little issue right now with his wife. Had some issue with some co-star she had and kind of drug him into it because he kind of did some stuff too. He has a whole situation right now, so he's been kind of laying low. But Kevin Feige said he is talking to him to bring Deadpool back because Deadpool's good. He's $1 billion character at this point, so I understand why you want to bring him back. Um, but here's the last bit of stuff. So as it is, we call this the podcast. We're going on pretty long. Told you we got a lot of information. And some information I left out stuff from DC. But let's get into it. So Secret Wars. Kevin Feige said this now. Avengers Endgame was the ending to something.
Yo.
Secret Wars is supposed to be a new beginning. So yes, he says Secret Wars will mark a new beginning in the MCU. He basically got around to saying a restart, not a reboot. He's not rebooting the MCU because there's way too many characters that just got introduced to do a full reboot, but more of a reset, a restart to an extent. So it's going to reset the universe. I believe he's going to make it to one dimension again and not have these multiple dimension things. I think Secret Wars will condense everybody to one dimension and not have multiple dimensions, which will give you a way to start having just young X-Men because you made all the other X-Men die or absorb into a dimension and or start over. I don't know how that's going to work. I'm not writing it. But he also said that I don't want to talk. So I'm not going to tell you that because that's kind of a spoiler for this Fantastic Four movie. I read some stuff that's kind of a spoiler, and yeah, so we won't talk about that. Okay, but we will talk about this. He also says he understands that he needs to recast Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, and he needs to recast Steve Rogers, Captain America. He's equating it to James Bond and Superman. As you know, we've had multiple people play James Bond, and we've now had multiple people play Superman, aka we have multiple people playing Batman. So he wants to have those characters be like that, to where you can recast them and have new people playing those characters within that MCU story. Um, I get what he's saying. I totally understand what he's saying. The difference is when they recast James Bond, they reboot the whole thing. When they recast Superman, most of the times they reboot the whole thing. When they recast Batman, they reboot the whole thing. So that's going to be the weird thread there of how do you recast these characters and not reboot your whole universe. Technically, James Gunn is doing something like that. He has he hasn't rebooted his whole universe, the DC universe. He's kind of reset it. Because Peacemaker was from the old DC, but he's in the new DC as well. Um, Jason Momoa did get reset to a different character, so that is a reset. So it's gonna be interesting. Do I think he needs to recast Tony Stark, Iron Man? Yeah, he kind of does. He's become an A-list Marvel character. At a time, Iron Man was a C-list Marvel character, and until they went on this amazing run to put him into the A-list status, he is a bigger name now that you need to bring back eventually. So is Captain America, another C-list that had got moved up to the A-list. Um, how he's gonna do it, I have no idea. To where it's not too confusing for normies. Side note: if you don't know what normies mean, it's just what we describe non-comic book people. It's not
Terrible.
meant to be mean. It's just normal.
Terrible.
But yeah, it's
I thought we were supposed to be in a day and age where it's bad to call people names.
it's a name of affection, not a name of disgrace. So it's okay. It's okay.
I don't
It's
care.
okay.
I don't care.
But it's gonna be really interesting to see how he resets this universe and how he recasts these characters. We already know he found a way to recast Black Panther with his son. Of course, his son is going to get in some time warp during Doomsday or Secret Wars to age him up to adult status so he can be the new T'Challa and become the new Black Panther. That's going to happen some way, somehow. They'll figure that out and age him up so we can have an adult Black Panther T'Challa. But with Tony Stark and Steve Rogers, I don't know how he's going to do that. And also, I don't know how fans are going to do that because we see how mad they got with Ironheart and people saying she's not going to take over Tony's place, which she never was trying to do. But we've also had other characters take on the mantle of OG characters, and people really get upset. Um, Melena, I almost got her name. We changed Black Widow. We passed the mantle for Black Widow. We kind of passed the mantle for Hawkeye with Kate Bishop. Thor passed the mantle and then got the mantle back because Lady Thor died. Hulk, We got She-Hulk, but she's a character in her own right, so that's not really passing a mantle. But people still were upset by that. It's just gonna be real interesting how he does it. I'm here for it though. I'm gonna watch it, even if it crash and burns. I'm still gonna watch it and enjoy it, or try to enjoy it. But yeah, Kevin Feige laid this all out, and the funny thing is, Marvel and DC are not doing Comic-Con panels this year. Comic-Con is this weekend. It's actually probably going on right now, the beginning of it. And DC and Marvel aren't doing panels there. Well, DC is doing a Peacemaker panel, but other than that, they're not doing anything. And Marvel has a movie coming out this weekend, Fantastic Four: First Steps, and DC is still promoting Superman, and neither one of them are going to talk about them at Comic-Con. The one place you have a captive audience to talk about these things, because that captive audience love this stuff. You're not talking about it. Instead, you're doing these weird interviews where you're just barfing all this information out and not taking your time, having graphics, having music and a presentation, bringing people out on characters, which help your brand grow because it gets eyes on your stuff and people click and talk and all that good stuff about your stuff for weeks at a time now when you slowly release stuff and do it in a presenting way instead of just a weird interview where you just spouting out stuff. So it's the thing James Gunn has been doing, and unfortunately, seeing Kevin Feige is trying to do the same. I don't know why. Kevin Feige, do what you've been doing. It's been working 100%. But yeah, that is the sports superhero news of the week. Marcus, we're going to change it up. Do the outro for us.
Say what now?
Do the outro, Marcus. You can do it. I believe in you.
Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Share with your people. People you like, people you don't like, your family, social media. Hit that like button, please. YouTube likes that. Algorithm. Please hit that. Check us out on all social media. Twitter. I'm going to call it Twitter. His mama called him Twitter. I'm calling him Twitter. You know, TikToks. Y'all seem to like us on TikTok. We on YouTube. We got a YouTube page. What's our voicemail? What's the website for that page?
Just tell me it's the link down there.
It's a link down there. It's like down there in the description. Hit us up, man. Leave us a voicemail. Ask us questions, sports questions, comic. Superheroes, ask us some questions. Heck, we're like Samuel always said, we'll usually ask a question about anything, as long as it's not weird. If you having problems in the bedroom, we can't help you out with that. Go get you some blue chews. I don't know. I don't know.
Blue Chew don't sponsor us yet. Blue Chew don't sponsor us yet.
I don't know, man. Do some jinxing. I don't know, man. We can't help you with that. But yeah. Share, subscribe to, please. Subscribe. Yeah, that's all I got, man. You caught me off guard. Can't just spring this on me.
I know.
This is like when we played basketball last night. I gave you the pass way too late. You was underneath the hoop. Like, you can't do nothing with that. Yeah. Again, my bad.
You did great. You did great.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Peace.